welcome back, adventurers. I hope you've mopped your brow and cooled down, maybe not so long in the freezer, and you're looking forward now to the next activity session. And we're going to go over to Councillor AC Marcia to introduce our next guest. Thank you, Marcia.
Hey, hey, adventurers. Oh my goodness, wasn't that workout fantastic? I'm drinking my water. And do you know what? I've got my lab coat ready because it's science craft activity time. But do you know what, adventurers? I feel a little sad because it's the last craft activity for the day, for the whole camporee. Oh, but anyway, do you know what? It's be fun because we have got an amazing instructor here for us. Should I tell you a little bit about him? Well, this is what I found out. His name is Councillor Craig Young, and he is married to Michelle, and they have 2 children, Akil, who is 27, and Janelle, who is 8 years old. But also, Councillor Craig is a member of the Brixton SDA Church, and he has led out in so many different departments. Some of them are personal ministries, communications, and most recently, he's worked in the children's ministry department. Now, isn't that fantastic? Because he'll be working with you today, so he knows about children, right? But also, he's an educator working in primary education. Over 20 years. Oh my goodness, 20 years. And Craig has also done some management work for about 10 years. So he knows a lot. He's the ideal person to be working with you. Anyhow, he is also the founder and director of Brixkidz. And that's been in operation for, well, since 2016. I know you've heard of Brixkidz, right? He has presented Brixkidz live online at www.brixkidz.org every Saturday, every Sabbath morning at 11:30 a.m. He's also presented on Friday, the program Friday Favorite at 7:30 p.m. He's done Cooking with Curly Sue. Oh, Curly Sue. Oh my goodness, I know her. He presents Thursdays at 3 p.m. and he also presents on Saturday afternoon, Sabbath afternoon on Adventist Radio London. And I've heard him and he is good. But you know what? How does he ever get time to do anything? I just can't imagine. Anyhow, he still finds time to do the most enjoyable activities ever. Riding, gardening, photography, and there's so much more. So I've got my lab coat on. I'm going to button up because I want to protect my uniform. I hope you've got yours up and ready. And I want you to sit back and have fun while you enjoy the activities. Have fun.
Thank you. Thank you so much, AC Marcia. And here we have Craig and his wife, lovely wife, Michelle, and daughter, Janelle. And they are saying hello to us all the way from Kingston, Jamaica. Over to you, Councillor Craig.
Hello, and everyone, and wagwan with that Jamaica, man. Sorry, I have to bring that in. It's good to be with you today. It's a bit hot here. Do you want a wipe? Yes, do you want to have a wipe? It's a bit hot. How are you, Ross? How is it there? That's good. That's good. Well, we have activities for you because it's all about belonging. And we are here together belonging to a family. And we have some great activities, and I hope you children at home or at camping, wherever you are, have your packs ready. What do we need? Skittles is the most important thing you're gonna need because that's the only thing you can eat right now. But you're gonna need that. plate, scissors. You're going to need paper, some pencils, well-sharpened pencils, doesn't matter what, tape, cello tape, any tape at all you want, skewer stick. If you don't have skewer stick, you probably need a piece of stick that can go down long enough. Ziploc bags, empty water bottle, so there's no water in it. You need some rice, and you can always cook that when you're finished. You need some salt. Don't eat too much salt, but you're gonna need some salt. You might need some salt later. And you're gonna need a bowl or bucket and some water. You can drink some water. So those are the things you're gonna need. You might need rubber bands. If you have rubber bands, you're gonna need one or two of those. And you see I have my tissue. You're wondering, why do I have my tissue, Roz? Are you wondering? Well, I'm doing that, but it's so hot. I'm doing that still. But there's something happening here. Janelle, what is happening here?
When you pull it, another tissue comes out, and then another tissue, and another tissue.
What? When you pull this, another tissue comes up. How does that work?
I think it's folded. Like, for example, this one is they're connected.
They're connected. They're connected in the box. Wow.
Can we ask Janelle to speak up?
Speak a bit louder, Janelle. I couldn't hear you. You have to shout it because the camera is not picking. It has to speak louder. So yes.
So it's like these are folded together and connected. So when you
Connected. Thank you, Janelle. What you're saying is so important. We need to hear every word of it. Thank you.
So we are all connected and we all belong. So all of those tissues belong in this box. And when you put one, another one comes. Just keep coming up. So
we're connected because we all belong. Oh, wonderful.
The Bible that talks about belonging to the body of Christ. There's a text that says, in one was it again? In 1 Corinthians 12, verse 12. It says,
for even as the body is one and yet has many members, and all the members of the body, though they are many, are one body, so also is Christ.
So, boys and girls, I want you to think, all what we're doing today is about belonging to God and belonging to a body, belonging to your Pathfinder group, belonging to the church, belonging to God. So, the first activity we're going to do about connecting with Jesus Christ. How do we keep connected with Jesus? So, what I want you to do, boys and girls, you have a piece of paper, any paper, and you can just get a piece, and I just need to fold a piece like this. So maybe a third, or fold it in three, doesn't matter. Just any piece of paper, and you can cut it or you can tape it. General, this is yours, and this is mine. I'm going to use, and I think, Mommy, you're going to use that as my t-shirt. So you have your paper like this, boys and girls. You can do any size. It doesn't matter. And we're going to show what happens when we are connected with Jesus and we're connected with Christ. So you get your tape and you just connect your paper like this. So you get the tape, make a roll, and connect. So now we have connected. There are some people there who doesn't belong to a church, who doesn't belong to any religion, who doesn't belong to any group, any Pathfinder group, and some people don't even belong to God. Because they don't believe in God. I'm getting hot, so I'm gonna use my t-shirt too. So we have the paper, we're connected, the paper together like this, forming a circle. But then when we cut, so Janelle, I want you to cut along the center of your paper, right around, and tell me what happens.
Right.
Remember, we have to speak up loud.
Like this.
Yes. So you're cutting around, and you're cutting, just put a circle along the center of the, and cut right along. And what happened when we don't belong to a group or to God? So when we build, whoa, what happened?
The pieces fell apart. They're not together anymore. They're not connected.
They're not connected. They fall apart. And that's what happened when we are not connected with God. When we come to the end of our life, when we come to the end of life, and we are now separated from God, because along life, there are lots of things that are happening. So while you're cutting, you were born, oh, that's the wrong side. You're born and you go to school and you go to work and you have a family and all of those things, and you might get sick and you get better. You go to e-Camporee, you go to camp, you go to Ashtosh, you go to All About, and you finish life, you get old, you have children and grandchildren, and then life ends and you're separated from God. No more connected with God. But we want to make sure we belong to God, not just now, but forever. So how do we do that, boys and girls? Now, if you want to have another piece of paper or you want to use part of that paper, we're going to show you how we get connected to God and we keep connected always. What do we need to put in our life, generally? We need to have a bit of something. What do we have to have a bit of? I wonder if any of the children think how we can do the same activity, but make sure that when we cut it, it is still connected. It's not apart. And there is a twist in it.
A twist.
A twist. Not the twist like that, do the twist, but a twist. I wonder if any one of them can tell me, how can we do that? The same piece of paper or same way, but we need to have a twist in life. There's twist in life where we're accepting Jesus. We now have Jesus as our mentor, Jesus as our friend, Jesus as, we now belong to Jesus forever.
So we're still facing the same things in life.
Yes.
And we're still going to school, having
Yes.
the groups.
Yes.
But at the end of our lives, when we die, we still staying connected.
We still stay
So
connected.
that's what you want to find out. How can we do that?
Yeah, how can
and
we do that?
demonstrate that with this paper.
Yeah, how do I do that? I did give you a clue, boys and girls. Did anybody get the clue? Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We have to have a twist.
Okay.
Not yet. Okay. So there's a twist in it, boys and girls. So the same paper, we're going to put a twist in it. What do I mean by that? Let me get a longer piece of paper and show you what I mean. So now is this paper, you cut it anywhere, the long piece I have. I'm going to, instead of just rolling it over like this, let's see if I make sure I have, instead of just rolling it over in one and make a circle, I'm going to put a twist. So I'm going to twist it around, and then come back to the top. So it's making there's a twist.
So you just need to twist it once.
Twist
Just
it
one
right
twist?
around.
One twist.
Yep, you
One
twist it
turn.
right around, right? One full turn, 360 degrees, and put a
Like
twist.
this?
Yes, and put a twist. And then we tape it
Show
together.
everyone again.
Yeah, show everyone side. Yep,
This way
that right way.
and that.
Oh, let's go. A twist. Twist it around and to the top. And now I need my tape. And the same thing is happening, and we're going to see what happened. So
So we're gonna cut it.
we're going to cut
Like this.
in the middle of the paper. We're going to cut in the middle of the paper. And if you want to draw a line in the middle of the paper before you go, and we're going to see. So we were born, and that's where I'm going to do my cut. So remember a little slit there. And then we twist around, and then I'm cutting just in the center of that paper. Keep cutting, keep cutting, keep cutting. Keep cutting in the center. We were born, we go to school, we go to university, we have a job, we get a family, we grow up. There might be camp we go to camp, and we have all of that happening, and we're just cutting along the center, and we grow up and we have our family, like I have my family here, and you have children, and you continue with life, and then we might get sick. And I'm cutting along the edge, the center, we might get sick, and we might go to there might be corona around. But when we come to the end of life, as we cut around there, we come to the end of life, we're gonna see what happens. You can cut yours, Jonelle. We're gonna see what happens. So I'll let Jonelle cut hers. But what do you think will happen, boys and girls? Because I've cut along, but there's a twist. You can see there's a cut along the center, right along. But what happens when we die? Remember, we need to belong to God. We need to still belong to God. We need to still be connected to God even after death, because we belong. We are belonging to Christ. So what will happen, boys and girls, is that when you separate those paper, remember when we did it first and we separated the paper, they just fall apart. This time, we're going to see if that happens. Just waiting to see if John will finish cutting hers. So while you do while you take that, I'm going to show you what happened, boys and girls. This is what happened. We stay connected.
Like chains.
Like chains. The papers are not falling apart. They're still cut, but they are together because they belong, now have a connection with Jesus, and they belong together. So boys and girls, this is what happened when we stay connected and belong to Jesus. We stay connected, belong to Jesus. Even after death, we are still connected. And when Christ comes back again, we will go to live with him forever and ever in heaven. Now, Jonelle have done hers, but she didn't put a twist. But what we find out...
I did put a twist. It just, the tape came off.
The tape came off, but what happened once she cut along, you can see even without that, with not the full twist, you're still connected, you still belong. So there are two ways. If you do a half twist, you will still belong and you have one big circle. But when you have a full twist, you still belong and you're connected and you can never be apart from God. So that's what we need to do with that paper strip. It's all about connecting with Christ and with Jesus. So we stay connected all the time. Hope you boys and girls will be able to get that done. Of course, you can take your pictures and send them into SEC, a hashtag SEC Camporee, and they'll be able to get those. That's my first activity. Now, we're going to another activity, which is about salt and paper. So I'm having my salt here. Now, you could do this with PVC pipes, and I don't have any here. Back home, I would have some pipes, but I'm in Jamaica, so I don't have any PVC pipes, but you still need your paper. The good thing about being creative. So you have 2 sheets of paper you're gonna need now. You're gonna have a sheet of paper that you roll along the short end, and another piece of paper that you roll along the long end, like this. So it's longer than the short piece, and you're gonna roll it to make it into a pipe. So you're going to roll it into the long end and the short end.
Short end?
The short end. I'm doing the long end because I'm rolling it with the as small as possible. So this long one should be able to go through.
Is this good enough?
Yes, that's good enough. So this long one should be able to go through. So you want to roll it as small as possible because you want it to be very small to go through that one that Jonelle have done. So you're making it very small.
May well need mum or daddy or one of the adults to help them create that pipe if they, with using the paper, if they don't have the pipe handy, but it can be done. So I hope that adventurers to create these 2 different lengths of piping using the paper, or if you already have the piping, that's fantastic.
Because you need to be able to. So I'm going to get some tape and I'm going to tape it along because I'm making like a pipe to push through. So this pipe that I've made is really representing what happens in life when we try to do things on our own and we are not connected. So if we go to Pathfinder and we stay by ourselves and we don't get connected, if we go to camp and we don't get connected. So this is like us. This is this long one is the troubles we have in life and the challenges and the different things we face in life. this is us. We are like, you know, if we don't have something in us. So now I have those tissues, they're coming back handy. I have a piece of tissue here, one of these tissues, and I'm going to put it to one end of my life because that's where I try to keep things in, and whatever happens, I try to face it on my own. So now I'm using a rubber band to just secure this tissue at the end of one of at the end of the pipe. I don't want to tie too much because you will still want to have that hole in it. So I just want to secure it. So maybe 2 wraps. So it's the tissue there. I can't see through it. And this is life. So this is me without Christ in me, without belonging to or having other people to support me. As we did with our tissues, we need to have people to support us. And sometimes when we're down, in the darkness, we need people to help us and lift us up. So that's what we need people to do. So Jonel, this is troubles of life or challenges in life. This is your life and you don't have Christ in you. We don't belong to Christ. And what I want you to do is to push this through. What will happen when we push that through? Not just push it through the paper, and what happened? Ooh, that's what happened, boys and girls. Look, it just comes straight through and the tissue is damaged. Just like when you blow your nose and you have a cold and you go, and there's a
really
big hole comes. That's what happened with our life. When we do that, without Christ in us, we don't have anything in our life. So what I want us to do, boys and girls, we're going to get another piece of tissue, the same tissue, it's the same thin tissue, and we're going to put it back at the end. But this time we're going to have Christ in our life. Now, what is that, and what will represent Christ in our lives, our friends, our people that we have? Is that salt? So I have the tissue, and we're going to pour some salt, and I don't know which one is, spoon it in. We're going to put some salt in this about halfway. I have a funnel here that you don't have to have a funnel, you can use your hands. If you have it like this, you can use your hands. But I'm going to use a funnel, so it's probably easier. Yes, I'm sweating. But I'm belonging to this place, which is keeping my sweat. So I wonder what, boys and girls, when I try to do the same thing, what you think will happen when I try to pour the salt into, when I put Christ, I'm filled with Christ. Let me see where I put a bit more. I need to about halfway.
So the salt is now representing, as you say, Christ, the body of Christ, your Pathfinder club, your friends, your family. People are supporting you. People are supporting you when you have challenges.
Okay,
so you're being filled up. You're not on your own. You're not empty anymore. So you.
Councillor Michelle, isn't there a Bible text talking about the salt of the earth?
Yes.
Yes.
He says,
If the adventurers can find or get their parents to help them to find where that text is found, because the salt here is representing Jesus, and Jesus said, we are the salt of the earth, so we need him.
yes, we need Jesus in us. Now we have the salt in, and we still have troubles to face. We still have to face. So what will happen now, boys and girls, when we have Christ in us and we are the salt of the earth, we are filled with Christ, we have our friends, our pathfinders, or a group, or everybody to do with us, and we try, with troubles come our way, and we try to go through. Jonah, can you push through and see what happened? Push, you push it.
I'm pushing.
You push it, and what happened to the paper?
It's crumbling.
It's crumbling, and nothing is happening. And if you have, nothing is going through, because we have Christ in us and we belong to Christ.
Mm-hmm. So those troubles are not impacting us anymore because we've got the support of Christ. We've got the support of our friends. So our troubles will disappear. They will go away.
When we push it down, this is what happened to trouble. Trouble can't come through. It breaks up. And if you have a PVC pipe and you try doing the same activity and you have a stick to push through, it doesn't matter how strong you are. You can even challenge your parents to go do that, and they will not be able to burst this piece of tissue. So before it was easy, we use this one. It was so easy to do. Now we have salt. We have the salt of the earth. We go through and nothing is happening. So
we have an answer from Emmanuel that we are the salt of the earth is from Matthew 5, verse 13 and 18. Thank you, Emmanuel. That's correct. Well done.
right. So that's the salt of the earth. You know what? I'm going to leave this one for the last because I think this is very interesting and then they can have that to eat and I don't want them to be distracted. So I'm going to move on to paper. Well, to summarize. So now I use a salt. I, need to get your rice. Now, the challenge is we're going to need to get some rice in this container. And we're going to be able to lift the rice and the bottle by just putting this cure stick in and lift up everything. But there's something about that. We need to prepare our hearts when we're going to belong to Christ, when we're going to belong to Pathfinder, when we're going to belong to a church. We need to prepare our hearts, not just saying it, but doing it. We need to prepare our heart. But how do we prepare our hearts? Because we go to Pathfinder Club, and this is a word of God and life. And I'm going to get my rice here. But there's something we need to make sure happen because we don't just say things, we need to do things and it needs to mean something in life. So I'm going to try to fill my bottle with rice and I'm just going to pour some rice in here. So we go to church and we go to Pathfinder Club and we learn the law, we learn the Bible text, we learn all the things that we need to do. Our parents teach us the right things. And we are putting the rice in. These are the things we are learning at home, at church, at Pathfinder Club. And we are filling up our bottles, we are filling up our lives by knowing those things and having them in our lives. But we need to prepare our life in a special way because once I pull this up, what happened? We need to make sure our life is not just pouring in with the word and we can say the Bible text and we can say the Pathfinder, the Adventures, law and song and all of that. We need to make sure that we do something special by preparing our hearts, preparing ourselves for the word of God and belonging to others. Now, there are lots of rice, boys and girls, you need to make sure you have your parents to help you because rice, if you're not pouring it properly, it will all flow out. But I'm almost filled and I want to make sure that I can lift up everybody with my presence. So I'm almost there.
Can I pour the last bit?
You can pour the last bit. Yeah, pour the last bit for me. You tried. Yeah, I got to spit. Okay, that's it. So now I fill my bottle and I have all the words. I've filled with Christ. I go to church and I have everything. And I want to be able to put this cure stick down, Jonelle, and lift it up for me. Lift up everything. Just lift up. Just lift up. Yeah. What happened?
I can't lift the bottle
Can't lift up because this is not prepared properly. Our heart is not prepared properly to belong to Jesus. So how do I do that? What do I do? You see, the bottle is full of rice, but there's still more that can hold in there. So what I want to do is to pour to the top of this bottle. And once I've poured, boys and girls, you might need your parents to help you because you need a lot of power. You need to push it down as far as possible. Yes, you can try, Jonelle. So I'm going to pull it up and going to push down. We are preparing. This is preparing our heart. We push and we push down as much as possible because you need to fill every space of our life with Jesus because when we don't have that there, we leave room for the devil or for the bad things of life because we need to fill up.
So is this like filling ourselves with the Holy Spirit? Because as you're saying, Uncle Craig, we go to church, we hear the word, we're in the clubs, but if our hearts are not filled with the Spirit who gives us the power to do what we need to do?
Yes, we need to fill up. So I'm pressing and you need to fill it as much. So you squeeze it, squeeze the bottle. And once you squeeze the bottle, you find that, oh, I squeeze the bottle, filling up a lot. My fingers can go straight down more. So that means I can hold more rice. And who would have thought that I could hold so much? So I'm filling up this as much as possible, squeezing it because I need every space of my life to be filled. So we have to fill that up and we need to go. And the more I push, the more I squeeze, the more life challenge, but I'm holding on and still holding on to the word of God. The more I do that, the more space. And you need to do that until this bottle is like a rock. It's hard and stiff. And once I almost sat on you there. Once I've done that, we're going to see what happened this time, because we have now prepared our hearts. And I'm going to just push this down, straight down. And John, see if you can lift up one go. Just lift up. Didn't work? That means it wasn't prepared properly, John. Still more room. So I need to make sure I do push that. See? When we think we are full and have everything, we still need more of God in us. So we need to prepare. And we are going deeper and harder and pushing it. Yeah, I think that is there. And now I need a skewer stick, and I'm going to put right down. Just force it right down, right? And then just try lift up. Wow, look at that. It's able to lift up all her life, lift up others, and lift up everything with just that stick, because we have prepared our hearts with Christ. So we need to make sure we stay belonging to Christ, belonging to others, but remember, not just going to Pathfinder, not going to your club and just being friends and doing things and playing around and say, yes, I know it, and just do the work for the work. It's about preparing you for life and preparing you for eternity.
So one of the ways we can prepare ourselves, as you say, is not just going to church. You need prayer, your own prayer time, Bible study, devotion with your family. So these are some of the things can help you to prepare. You go and you do your God's errands, you do witnessing, you help with the feeding of the homeless, just anything, helping your neighbor. So it's not just about going and getting from church, but filling yourselves with all of these activities so you stay connected with Christ and with each other.
So
if the children would like to put on the chat, any of the adventurers, put on the chat, what things have they done, or their brothers and sisters, or their mums and dads, what things have their family done to make sure that Jesus is in their life? Can you answer that question on the chat for us so we can see the variety of things that can be done and maybe inspire other adventurers to do different things? So give us your answers, adventurers, on the chat.
Now, we're just going to demonstrate a quick activity before we move on to our next activity, which is with some more paper. And then I'm leaving the last two exciting ones for you with your Ziploc bag and your Skittles, because you're going to have fun doing this one and probably want to try this, the water one outside. Now, what I have here, I have some rubber band. There's the one that was on the salt. I need that rubber band. We have some rubber bands here. You're going to have to open.
Family devotion is one of the things that they do, which is absolutely fantastic. The importance of family devotion. Thank you, Camille.
Okay, now, one of the things we love to show is that we need to have Christ in the middle of our life and in the middle of our friendship and our club and everything we do when we belong. So we're going to just try to demonstrate what that looks like when we don't have Christ in the middle of our life. So if you have a family and you're friends together, you can stand together with your arms like this by your side, elbows tucked in, and your hands out, and you just need to have your index finger like that. So you can do it more than one. So once you have done that, and we are just demonstrating this a little.
You have to hook your fingers.
Hook your fingers. So if you have this together. You have a rubber band on your fingers, and just showing you what happens. If you imagine Christ in the center of us, and we are together with these rubber bands, there's nothing, there's no tension. There's no tension in these rubber bands. We can pull together, we're close because Christ is in the center and we belong to Christ. But what happens, still keeping your hands to your side, not moving them to your side, what happens when we start to pull back from Christ? When we start to move back from Christ, what happens?
And from each other. We're moving away from each other and we're moving away from Christ.
What is happening to the rubber bands?
Getting tension.
We're getting tension. There's a lot of tension with our friends, with each other, because we are neglecting Christ in our center of our lives, of our friendship, of our group. And then what it will eventually happen is that this rubber band will break. And if you've ever been stung by a rubber band, you would know it really hurts. And that's what happened when we are not when we're not connected with Christ. So we need to make sure that we have Christ in our center and we are connected to Christ. Now, for some excitement.
When we have Christ as our center, we have personal devotion. Pauline says she does this. And Monterey says praying every day. And Uzziah says playing with her family, playing family games, having family worship, having day outs at the park and cycling. And Vuma says feed the homeless. These are excellent ways that we can stay connected with Jesus and staying belonged to our family. Thank you for all those answers.
Now, I have 15 minutes, so we're going to do this quickly. So, this piece of paper, boys and girls, and I have a very big book here. It says World's History Encyclopedia. It's very heavy.
Wow, wow, wow.
It's very heavy. But how can I, if we stand alone and we do things not belonging, do you think I can just get this book to stand on top of this? Will I? No. What will happen? If I put it, just crumble. That's what happened when we are not, it just crumble the paper. Can't stand it. But I'm going to show you how you can get this piece of paper to keep this book off the table. And I have more books I can stack on it and see how many books I can stack on this to use this one piece of paper to keep it up and above. So what you're going to do, boys and girls, you have your paper. You need to have about 3 centimeters along the long edge. So you can measure it or you can fold it. Make sure you have 3 centimeters and you fold it the same length, same size. So what you need is to have the paper being the same size. So I've done this and I'm folding again. So you should get about 8 strips when you're finished. When you fold it, make sure they're the same height or the same distance. And you can either draw it. If you have a ruler measuring 3 centimeters each, you should get about 8 strips and you should have that. So once I've done that, I'm then going to cut along. You just need to cut them along the lines that you have made. So cut straight lines. You could use a ruler to draw them, because what we want to do is to see how this paper is going to keep this encyclopedia up from the table, just this same sheet of paper that couldn't stand on its own. But when we belong to Christ and we belong to a group and we work together, this is what will happen. So I'm cutting this, and can you cut those for me? Cut those. What I've done is when you cut them, while they're cutting them along, when you cut them, you will roll them as close as possible, and you make roll it like this, and you should then have a little ball, and you tape it, a cylinder also like this. So these are the ones I've made earlier, and you roll it, making sure they're together. Then you get a piece of tape to keep them together. You can use glue if you have glue and so forth. And then you have these little cylinders to stand up like those. And you should have 8 of these. And once you have those 8, you'll put them together. So I'm going to put them up to stand like this. So I'm giving you time to cut. They must be the same height though. So that's why we have to measure them. So you cut them, you roll them, and you put them to stand like this. And you could put them anyhow you want. So once you have done that, the same piece of paper would have cut and we would have rolled them like this because we have done them earlier to save time, but I can give you time to do that, boys and girls. Once you have done that, you have those, maybe one, okay, that's fine. I have 6 here, but I'm gonna see if those 6 is the same piece of paper, one paper, if I put it here, what will happen when I put the book on? Will it hold it?
Let's find out.
Let's find out. Yes, and I don't know if the second camera can pick that up to see. Yes, the second camera can pick that up to see that it's there. Face is there, not falling down.
What about another book?
Another book, as many books as I can. We're gonna see how many books it can hold. We have lots of books. I'm putting all these books that I can find. And these are some heavy books and I'm filling up. Oh, we have a lot more books. There's a big one here. And there's a big one here. And it's still there. There's still space. You can see.
The paper is still holding
This
up.
paper is still holding up
Wow.
because we are connected. And I think it could probably hold Jonelle if she sits on it. Want to have a try? Let's see. Yes, it didn't go.
Oh, wow.
So you can try to see how many you can, but look at all these books. It did hold on it. That's what happened when we work together and we don't try to be by ourselves and think we are all big and broad like this paper. We have to be together, get ourselves small, fold it up, and belong to Christ. Now,
We can do more when we are together than when we are alone.
now, in 10 minutes, we are going to now do this. So this is my Ziploc bag. And boys and girls, you can try this over your sink first. And when you get professional at it, when you become good at it, then you can try it over somebody's head like I'm going to try with Jonelle. So, or if you have a bucket or a bowl, you can just use that because I want to show that in here. So what you need to do, the Ziploc bag, you're going to pour the water in for me, Jonelle. So pour the water in the Ziploc bag. Pour it all out. Okay. So now I have the water in the bag. I'm going to seal it. Make sure it's sealed tight. So now water is coming through. It's sealed tight. All right. So just a bit of water coming through. So the challenge here is that I'm going to use these pencils I have, and I'm going to see if I can put the bag represent our lives. When we are filled with Christ, we know how to withstand the troubles of life. So when we're filled with Christ, when we belong to Christ, we know how to withstand the troubles of life. Now you're going to get your pencils, make sure they're well sharp and well pointed, and you're not going to just break it like this. You're going to push it through, and there should be no water coming through. So, are we ready?
Try without my head.
Try without your head first, and I'm going to do it over Jonelle's head. So, first one, I'm going to put it through, and all I'm doing is twisting, and pushing at the same time. And I go in, and I'm going to come through the other end, twisting, pushing, twisting, pushing.
Come through?
It has come through.
Oh,
It has come through.
okay. Now you can get over my head.
And can see the pencil is through. There's no water. No, John, I want me to do it overhead. To see if any more is going to come through. If if I'm going to get it wet. So once you have done that, boys and girls, remember, you just need to push, turn the pencil, and push along. And when you come to the other side, you keep doing that. It's on the other side.
Oh.
And let's see how many pencils I'm able to put through. Let's move back. I'm not going to do it over your head because you know I can do it over your head. So I'm going to push another one. And the thing is, the water will come through, but because we belong to Christ and the plastic bag is like Christ sealing us with his love, with his protection, no matter what comes our way, we are protected by Christ. So troubles will come. Troubles will come. So I've got 3 pencils. Push it, yep. Oops. Oh.
Plug the hole.
What happened when we don't want to let that out? So we push through, and then we can put as many pencils through. So you can see all the pencils going through, boys and girls, because we belong to Christ. But I also like for you to think of this. When you go through troubles, and when you have all of this in you, and you have gone through troubles with difficult times, sickness, problems at home, problems with your friends, you should come out stronger. And then you need to pour out your blessings on others. So what I love to say with these activities, when you finish and life is there, you don't just keep it in, you need to bless others. So when I pull out 1 pencil, I'm going to bless others, but not by one way, but different ways. So we can fill others up with the blessings that we get. And we can see the water coming out, and that representing us filling up others and blessing others in life. And we need to be a blessing to others when we belong to Jesus. We don't just keep the blessing to ourselves, we bless others with that. So we can go through our troubles and share our experience with others so they too can learn about that. Now,
Very fun part of our experiment.
this is what you can eat and have fun. Where are my plates and Skittles?
I don't know.
Where are my plates and Skittles? Oh, I have them here. This is what you're going to have. I have 2 plates here. You can try this at home with any amount. What I'm going to do is that you have your bag of Skittles. And this is the beauty about life. Together, we make things beautiful. And I think with e-Camporee, I can see that you're making this a beautiful experience for everyone, with everybody having exercise and art and science and cooking and all of that. It makes it work together and become beautiful. So with these Skittles, there are different colors. So if I have different colors of Skittles, I'm going to have 2. I just pour out. They're red, yellow. I know we have a song that says, whether we're, Jesus loved the children of the world, whether red and yellow, but I don't like to say red and yellow. What did I like to sing?
Shades of brown from dark to light.
From shades of brown from dark to light. So once I have those, I have my Skittles and pour them out.
That should be enough.
Yes, that should be enough. Now, what you can do, boys and girls, and I don't know if the second camera can pick this up, or probably you can. Yeah, this is fine. We have better. So I have these, and I am going to, it doesn't matter how you look, what color you are, what size, what look, whatever, it doesn't matter. As long as we belong to Christ and we belong to a group or a church or something, we belong to Christ. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put these around. How are you going to put yours?
I need some.
I'm just going to put these around in any direction. You can decide if you want to do red, green, red, blue. However you do, it doesn't matter. Jonelle is going to do a different pattern. I'm doing a different pattern. I'm just putting them around in a circle. I might want to mix up, so I have them.
I'm doing a flower.
You're doing a flower,
And
okay?
a meadow.
A flower and a meadow, okay?
A flower meadow.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just putting them around. And this is a beautiful thing of life when we are together and we have Christ in us and we work together as a group, as a company, as we belong to Christ. you can see I've just put mine in a circle. Journal is creating different colors and shades, and I'm going to need the water. And once you have done that, no, it's going to be cold. I need that one. Once you have done that, you are going to pour water gently in the center. Hey, why are you stealing mine? You're going to pour water in the center of there. So she has done hers in a pattern. I have done just mine in a circle. And this is, boys and girls, you need to make sure you take pictures of this and send them, hashtag them to SEC e-Camporee, because they're going to be, you're going to realize that nobody, when you have done this, none of you should have the same picture. They're all going to be beautiful. So, and different. And that's what we are. So I'm going to pour the water in the center here until it fills up the bottom of this plate. And we're going to leave it, and then I'm going to do the same with journals. And we're going to leave it. Make sure you don't pour in the water too much. And we're going to leave it to see what happens.
Like this one.
So after a few, by the time we're finished here, you should see the colors.
Look, it's the colors are.
On share table. Yep. They should see the colors start to move in a direction. For mine, they're going in the center. For journal, it's going out and creating a different picture. And that's the beauty. When we are together, we make beautiful things. When we work together, we make beautiful things. And it doesn't matter what pattern, what direction. As you can see, hers is creating a different picture. Mine is creating a different picture. The colors are
going like in.
The mine is going in coming to the center. Yeah. Yours is from the center out and is making its own beautiful pictures. Boys and girls, you need to make sure, don't shake it, take your pictures, and when you finish, you can eat your Smarties. But take your, it's not finished as yet.
Oh, okay.
Right. So when you finish, take pictures, hashtag them in, and send them to SEC, and I will be looking forward to seeing all the beautiful pictures. This is one piece of art that you have to take pictures to keep, because once it goes out, it gets mixed up.
Once you move the table or you move it, it will get mixed.
It will get mixed up. So, Roz, that's what.
Beautiful. That is so beautiful looking. Look at those pretty colors coming up. You know, this is how Jesus sees us, in this beautiful way, as long as we stay connected to him. Thank you so much, Michelle and Janelle and Councillor Craig. Science craft is wonderful to watch, and even better when you're doing it. So please, adventurers, send us your pictures of your science craft activities that you've produced. Well done. Thank you so much. I think the young children have enjoyed it. I most certainly have enjoyed it. And so we are going to say, and I say this with a heavy heart, goodbye, Kingston, Jamaica.
See you later. Thank you for watching. Yes,
man. Thank you so much. Adventurers, I hope you enjoyed our science craft activities with Craig, Michelle and Janelle, all the way from Kingston, Jamaica. I hope you enjoyed our Fitness at Home award. And if you complete the award using the worksheet and send it in to us on the hashtag email, please send us your pictures of what you've done. We'd like to thank Colin and Eugenie Burton for sweating us out, and thank Craig, Michelle and Janelle for twisting our minds and taking us into the framework of staying connected with God using science craft. Let's bow our heads and have a word of prayer before we move on to the next stage. Dear Lord, thank you for putting Jesus in our lives, because it's with Jesus in our lives that we can stay connected. And thank you for helping us to remember that we can do more when we work together, belonging together with you, than if we work alone. Thank you for helping us to be sealed together with Jesus as the crafts activities demonstrated to us. And help us to be a blessing to others so that they too can be connected to Jesus and stay belonging to God's family. Thank you for helping us to look beautiful in you. We ask that you will help us to stay connected and stay belonging to Jesus and the family of Jesus. Bless us now. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.